Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the China Glaze EVERGLAZE Summer 2016 collection. It's called the Wipeout collection, and this is my first experience with this portion of their brand. I had never tried these EVERGLAZE polishes before. I'd always seen them at Sally's and I just kind of passed them up because I thought, well, they're a little bit more expensive and I'm doing just fine with my regular China Glaze polishes. Why change it up? You know what I mean? But of course, I always like to try different things, and when I saw these pop up on Head to Toe Beauty, I decided to go ahead and pick up the whole summer collection because I'd seen some polishes on there from them before, but I had never seen like a seasonal collection. So I thought perfect time for me to go ahead and give all 10 of the polishes in this collection a good test. I'm going to be wearing 5 of the polishes here on my hand for a full week to really test out their extended wear portion, you know, their claims that they have on this portion of their brand. The EVERGLAZE claims that they claim to be like stronger, have more stamina, have more shine. So yeah, I'm going to definitely let you guys know. By today I've only had these on for 2 days. They're doing really, really well. But I'm going to let you know here in the comments what my experience was with how they wore, how glossy they stayed for a whole week. So you're learning here, you know, what that experience was, because I really did want to test out that extended wear claim. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Like I said, I did find these at headtotoebeauty.com. They were $4.45 for each polish, and which, as you know, if you've purchased from that website, it's only a little bit more than what you're paying for the core polishes from China Glaze. So it really wasn't that much of a difference, but I do have to say that I think that the quality of the polish, it just felt like a little bit butterier and creamier, and I really did like the brush. I'm going to show you real quick right here a side-by-side comparison of the regular China Glaze brush and these EVERGLAZE brushes. They just felt a little bit sturdier and they were easier to manage. Now, of course, China Glaze, they're very dear to my heart. I don't really have a problem with their brushes, but when I was using these EVERGLAZE brushes, that was just what my initial thoughts were, is that they felt a little bit stronger somehow. So yeah, I did like that about it. I did notice across all 10 of these polishes there were no one coaters. Sometimes even within China Glaze's core line you have some really great one coat polishes, some of their creams. None of these really, they're not really going to stand up on their own at one coat. Most of the creams were all 2 coaters, and then their shimmers are either 2 to 3 coaters or maybe wear them as a topper. So we're going to go ahead and get to look at them, and then at the end I will give you my final thoughts. So there are 3 pink polishes in the collection. They look like this. If you are a pink lover, you will be very happy about that. This first lightest one is called Pink-a-Pooloza. It's kind of like a chalky neon bright color here, but it doesn't really look exactly neon on the nail, but I think that's what they were going for. And it's great at 2 coats, so let's go ahead and see how it swatches. Next up, the medium pink. It's very bright as well, but it has this gorgeous fuchsia shimmer going all throughout. It's what I have on my hand here, and I did like it very much. The 3 polishes in here that have shimmer in them, though, are the most sheer out of the collection. This one, I did 2 coats, and I think it's passable, but you might find yourself wanting to go for a 3rd, and for that reason, if you already have a color that's just exactly like this, you maybe don't really need this, because I think having to do 3 coats on a polish, it just makes it take longer to dry. You know, it's a little bit more high maintenance having to go for that whole 3rd coat. So it's up to you, but I'm going to show you 2 coats today. Alright, and then the darkest pink is a very, very hot pink, and it's called You Glow Girl. It's one of the polishes I have here on my Cinderella hand. I'm going to test out all week. These all dry pretty glossy, but this one has a little bit more of a satin matte formula, so it dries a little bit more flat. If you want to, you can of course just gloss this up really easily with a top coat. And but yeah, I'm going to show you how this swatches at 2 coats on its own. I really liked it. I do want to mention really quick, these do have a top and base coat that you can purchase to go along with them, but I wanted to test them out and see how they wear on their own with a top and base coat that you may already have in your own collection, so that you don't have to purchase something special. Because from what I read, it didn't say that these don't work unless you have that special top coat, so I didn't want to assume that you have to only use it that way. So I tested these out without any special top coat, just my own. So let's keep going. There are 2 more shimmers in the collection, as I alluded to before. The green one is this gorgeous kind of shamrock green. It's a little bit sweet, and it is called Up the Glam. This is really pretty. I'm also wearing this on my other hand. That is going to keep the polish on for a whole week. This is pretty sheer. This is probably the most sheer polish out of the whole collection, actually, which is a little bit of a bummer because look at how beautiful that color is, and the gold shimmer in there is really spectacular. You need 3 coats on this one to get your, the closest to opacity. I think 4 coats is just way, going overboard. Or you could just choose to wear this as a topper over another green or something. I do really love the color, but because it wasn't able to reach opacity very easily, I feel like this one ended up being a little bit of a pass for me. So let's see how it swatches. Alright, the third shimmer is this light milky white shade, and it is called Fin-tastic, and this has gorgeous gold shimmer but also reflects a fuchsia pink in there as well, which I really, really enjoyed. What I didn't quite enjoy with this was the base of it. It's pigmented enough that you can't really put it over something like a pink and give it that nice fuchsia shimmer, or you can't really put it over, well, I guess you could put it over like a yellow or a white, but what I'm trying to say is it's too pigmented to wear as a top coat and have it not completely change the look of the polish unless you put it over something white based, because it just, like I said, it just has too much pigment. So for that reason, I didn't really care for this very much. On its own, it didn't get opaque enough at 2 to 3 coats for me to really want to wear it on its own. I do really like the shimmer and the fuchsia glow coming out of this polish. I really, really like that, but because of that base, I didn't end up caring for this very much. So again, this one was a little bit of a pass, but let's see how it swatches. Okay, so there's one gorgeous teal polish in the collection. It's called Aquaholic. Isn't this beautiful? I loved this a lot. This was definitely one of my favorites. Graded 2 coats. Alright, so they did give us a yellow in this collection, and this one is called Sunny Side Up. This is very similar to the yellow that's in the House of Color collection from China Glaze's core line. It's like a nice light buttery cream yellow. This one I also have on my hand that I'm going to be wearing all week. It was okay at 2 coats. I think you might really need a 3rd coat with this one to get it opaque enough, which is pretty common for very light yellows, but I was, I guess, slightly disappointed by that you really do need more coats. I wish that it had been just a little bit better at 2 coats, but let's see how it swatches. Alright, so I'm going to finish up with some of my favorites. These are the 3 purpley polishes in the collection. I really enjoyed these. Okay, the lightest, you could maybe say this is just a periwinkle, not a purple, but for me, sometimes periwinkles really look purple to me. This one is called Make Waves Not War. It's graded at 2 coats. It's a lighter polish, but I thought it was really nice. Let's take a look. Alright, the next one is just a little bit deeper and more purple than that last one. It's called Motion of the Ocean. I'm wearing this one on my hand all week as well, and I really enjoyed this. It's kind of the same color as my jacket here. Definitely you can tell it's just a color I prefer, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Alright, very last up, another polish that I'll be wearing all week, testing out. This is called Love's a Sure Thing. Again, a beautiful, bright, like orchid purple color. I really enjoyed this a lot. It has a great glossy formula. Let's take a look. Alright guys, so that concludes all the live swatching. Now I will go ahead and round up my thoughts for you. I think that after really testing these all out, I did notice that they maybe had a little bit richer of a formula. However, across all 10, I didn't really find anything that just made me think that you absolutely need to start buying Everglaze polishes and not mess around with the basic China Glaze polishes anymore. If they had all performed just like better than anything that I'd ever seen, if they had all got super opaque at 2 coats, I maybe would be leaning towards that direction. But for me, there's enough polishes in China Glaze's baseline that do really well, like even at 1 coat, that make me think I like these, but they're not good enough for me to say I only want to purchase these kinds of extended wear polishes exclusively. I did really enjoy the color range in here. I thought they were really fun. I did like this one shimmer, but as far as the shimmers are concerned, I would maybe pass on the shimmers in this collection just because they didn't get opaque enough. The pink being, I think, the best out of the shimmers. And my favorites were probably, I really enjoyed the teal. I thought all the purples were great. So those are probably my picks, although there wasn't really like a dud out of the bunch. But these 2 shimmers, unless you want to wear them as toppers, I don't really know if you want to, you know, spend your money on those ones, although it really wasn't a bad price point on head-to-toe-beauty.com. So anyway, I hope that that was a helpful review for you. If you've been wondering if you should try out this brand, I did like them, but I feel like they aren't, not all of these polishes are created equal. That's kind of how I felt. So anyway, I do plan on picking up another collection from them in the future if I see another seasonal one come out. Let me know in the comments below what your favorites were, or if you have tried any of these Everglaze polishes. You can leave recommendations in the comments for others to check out and see what they might want to try. And yeah, if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and like this video. It helps me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. And if you subscribe, it's free. All it does is just tell you when I put out a new review for you. And so yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I will see you back for my next review, and until then, take care. Bye. However, this neutral that I picked out definitely brings out the youth in my heart, and this is Avon, believe it or not. It's an Avon polish, and this is called Sweet Pea Dream, and I like this because it's a peachy nude and it has gold shimmer going throughout it, so I feel like it's still very young.